Hello and welcome to this short episode. I just want to give you an update of my garden that is so green. Rarely do you see my garden green like this, because I garden with very little water, but we got some rains. So I want to give you an update of what is growing in my garden. So this first portion that you see all green, this is where we harvested the beans. And by the time I was harvesting the beans, they were dry beans and some of the beans had split. So some beans fell to the ground, and now I'm going to harvest more beans. Again, this is the papaya tree, still surviving. At least you're now seeing it's looking healthier, more leaves. Then next here I have sweet potatoes. Here I had sweet potatoes. Then next to it, this is the pomegranate tree, and look at the height it has gained. Remember the small tree? So this is how far we are. And this whole area now is covered by the sweet potatoes. Right inside here, there was a volunteer chili tree still there, and as you can see, the chili is already flowering and it looks really nice. I'm going to show you some other chili trees. Then this is a closer look at the pomegranate. And right at the end there, I also have another pomegranate, but now this whole area I have, that is a citrus tree right there. There I have amaranth. That corner is where I make my compost. So here I have beans and sweet potatoes. You can see there's watermelon right inside there. Let me try and get closer to the other side. So that is the first portion. Then there are still some onions that I haven't transplanted. I've been so busy, I've not been able to come to the garden. So I hope I'll be able to come to the garden and finish transplanting the onions. But look at this, look at the leeks. Remember the small leeks? Look at the leeks right now. And close to the leeks, I have the carrots. So this time we should harvest nice carrots. The leeks are super, look at that. The small leeks. I got some water. And then these are the zero cost bell peppers. I bought just a mature bell pepper. You can try this. Buy a mature bell pepper. Mine was the red one. And then just plant the seeds. I didn't even dry the seed. I just planted the seeds from the mature bell pepper. And now look at my bell peppers growing like that. And in between, you can see I added some onions right there. That's the pomegranate tree. So these are the bell peppers. Let me try and move to this other side where I was showing you the watermelon. This is the watermelon. Look at that. So it's really covered by the sweet potatoes. These are the sweet potatoes. They've covered the ground so well. Like, my garden is really green. Then right there at the end, let me see if I can get a little bit closer. This is watermelon again. This is the bell pepper. That is another pomegranate right there. And then you can also see watermelon again right there. That's watermelon. These are beans and sweet potatoes. That is pomegranate. So if I turn around, this is where I have the leeks and the carrots. Look at that. Then this I have another. This is a traditional vegetable, very nutritious. And this is a volunteer. They just grow wild. Looking good. Normally I don't remove them. Even the amaranth, I have like a really big amaranth the other side. I didn't remove it. I just let it drop its seeds because we usually come and harvest the veggies. Healthy leaves. And look at this. What do we have here? Here I have chili. Super productive. Look at that. So it is flowering. Already I have some, you can see the green chili already there. That is amaranth right there. This is the other chili right here. Then remember we transplanted eggplants, and I think there are some eggplants we haven't transplanted, but look at this. These are the eggplants, and they do have some fruits. Look at that. And I need to come and do some work here. I need to harvest those ones so that I can allow the plant to go back up. But this is how the eggplant is looking. This was a volunteer sweet potato right here. So we've just left it there to continue. Then coming on to this corner, look at that. Here I have the spinach that has been overtaken now by, look at the sweet potatoes. Huh? Sweet potato right there. Look at the leaves. Then right here I have another chili. This is also another volunteer plant. For me, remember we really prepared this space before we started planting. So any volunteer plant, I don't usually remove it, I just leave it right there. So this is chili. I'll get to the other garden in a few to show you the other chili that is also super productive. Let's move to this other side. That is sweet potato. Sweet potato. Remember, sweet potato. Remember here I also had some onions. I also had some popcorn. I harvested the popcorn. Here I had some beans. I harvested some beans, but some of the pods split. So these are also volunteers. And then getting on to this other corner, here I have peanuts or groundnuts, and I can see a volunteer tomato. This is where I had the popcorn. So I already harvested the popcorn. I will show you. That is tomato. I also had gooseberry right there. So here I have carrots. It will be interesting to see the size of carrots I get, so that you're not looking at super lush growth above ground, but below ground you don't have big carrots. So I'm hoping once they start showing the tips, I'll come show you, so that you can harvest together to see what you can get just growing your food at home. So here I have peanuts, and these ones I noted that they were flowering. And yeah, right here, look at that. That was pegging. That's a peanut right there. Peanuts or groundnuts, this corner. Then remember right here I had tomatoes. Removed all of them. Then let's get to the other side. I show you here. I also have some onions and some leeks close to the carrots. And the sweet potato vine is also getting to this other side, looking good. So we're going to come transplant some more onions. There's still more space here, and I got some yellow maize. I've been trying to look for the traditional varieties so that I can grow the traditional varieties and just show you the productivity. We got really big tomatoes, but I've removed all of them, so I'm starting new ones right here. These were the support posts. And remember the papaya. Look at that. So this is how far we are with the papaya. Look at that. Looking good. Then here I have some onions. I'm going to add some more onions. So I want to get to the other side to show you the other chili tree that is super productive. Here I have leeks and carrots, and they've really shot up. And this is the giant variety. And look at the size. Then behind me, onions. So I have space to add some more onions. And remember all these papaya trees, I started them from seed. We did a live video. I showed you how I dried the seeds, planted them. So I have papaya. I have my flowers right there. So I want to get to this other side. Then I have containers. I have amaranth. I have saget. I have, what else? What else can I show you that is growing, that is making my garden look so beautiful? Usually it is so dry. I have the spinach. So let me get to the other side. We've really enjoyed the oranges. So the tree is still shooting up. And we've harvested nearly all the fruits. Let me see if I can spot any other fruits. And before I get there, this is another volunteer chili. It was small, but now you see it has shot up. It's gotten enough water. So this is the orange tree. Look at that. So just some few fruits because we've been enjoying them. So right now I don't think you'll get to see so many of them. Look at that. That is the orange tree. So they're still small. Then this other side, this is where I have the ornamental garden, where I have the snake plants on the edge. So I tried working on the garden. I'm not through yet. So this whole edge, you have the snake plants. We have the aloe vera right there. You can see aloe vera. Going on to that other side, I do have moringa. Hope you can spot the moringa. Then I had butternut in these containers. Then I want to show you what is growing on this side. Look at this. Now this one is the other chili tree that has been super productive. And look at that. You already have the fruits, the green fruits. And then it is flowering already. So soon we should be harvesting chili. Sorry about that. Get to this other side to show you the tree. Then I want to show you what is growing on this other side, where I have cowpeas. So I still have another vegetable I want to come plant just in between the spaces. So we spaced this. So this is a very nutritious veggie. Then I noted something today. Look at this. And they are quite big in my garden. So I don't know the name. Of course, I can't harvest them because they may be poisonous. But then they decided to all crowd at this point. I wonder why. If you know the name, you can share with me down below. Let me try and get closer so that you can see it well. And then close by, remember this pomegranate tree that we started? Look at that. So I'm still in the mission of getting more and more fruit trees into my garden. So that is pomegranate. And it was that small tree that we planted with a container all around it. But look at that. So on this side, we'll have the fruit trees. Then I did show you when these plants, it's called the naked lady. It was flowering. Then I do have yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This is another citrus tree, still small. yesterday, today and tomorrow. Right now it is not flowering. It has a very nice scent. This side, then at the end here I have the snake plant. I did get, sorry about that, I did trim the tree some time back, so that is what is left there. I'm going to use it for support, and the rest of it we can use it as firewood. Then this is a variety of pine. So this is the ornamental garden, but then I'm yet to get more flowers, so we planted the cowpeas. So in between I have veggies that I hope tomorrow I'll be able to get time, plant more veggies. Here, this is where I had the succulent. It had covered this whole area. Moved them from this container. This is the succulent. This one can survive here because this garden is usually dry. So this is the only plant that remains green when everything is dry. So I have more containers. This other side. And then we do have maize. Planted some maize here. You can see it shooting up. So I got some seeds, yellow maize seeds. That is what I'm going to plant on the other side. I'm still looking for the variety with the many colors, the maroon, the blue. Once I get that variety, we grow it, I'll be able to show you. That's the edge of the garden. Look at that. Then here at the end I have yesterday, today and tomorrow. Let me try and get a little bit closer again. This is yesterday, today and tomorrow. It's not flowering yet. I hope I'll be able to share a video. I did share it on one of my socials, the process. Here I have maize. That is maize. That is aloe vera right there. Then we have snake plant on the edge, a mix of the naked lady and the snake plant on the edge. Then the succulent that will grow from here. It's going to fill this whole area. Let me try and get to this other side. I think there's a plant I haven't shown you right here. I do have some other succulents, and remember, this is another succulent. Remember the money plant? It's quite big right now. So this is the edge of the garden. We do have geranium right here, and there are two varieties. This has a different color. This is a different one also. I'm going to show you. I hope I'll be able to share more this time round for the other plants that I have in the garden. And also let me see whether I can get to the money plant. This other side. Okay. So remember the small plant that we were supporting? Look at this. Look at the size of the leaves. See the size of the leaves? So besides the edible garden, I'm also working on these other plants. We did do a live episode as I was supporting this plant and starting them from the little cuttings that I had. And look at how far we've come. Looking quite good. So I'm hoping I can get more cuttings. Look at the leaves. Really nice and big, and I think it's because right now we have some It's not so hot, cool weather. Look at that. So let's get back to the garden again so that I finish off with the other plants. These are the other ornamental plants in the container. Hi Foliflora 23. How are you today? So today I'm just giving an update of what is growing in my garden. So I've just been going through the edible garden. Now I've shown some parts of the ornamental garden. So this garden is like that is a jade, 3 parts. This is the succulent I was showing you. It's going to cover this whole area. So we get on to this other side. This is where we didn't clear here. This is where we have the chili. So we are yet to finish transplanting. So this is the other side. So I've come from the ornamental garden now to this other side where we have the orange tree, though right now there are not so many oranges that you can see. We've really enjoyed quite a lot. I hope soon we'll have some pomegranates from the tree on the other side. So that is the update I wanted to share with you. So we'll come finish off. These are the onions that are left. We'll come transplant them there. Then I also want to add some more sunflowers. We should be having some more color apart from the dense green that I'm enjoying right now, which is so amazing because we got some good rains. So at least the whole garden is green. So we should be harvesting some nice sweet potatoes soon from this garden. Then I also started some ginger, some turmeric. I haven't spotted it coming up. I think maybe the time I started them, the weather was not conducive for them to come up. I'm hoping soon I shall be able to see them shooting up. I'll show you. Then sometimes when you spot weeds in the garden, don't be so fast to remove them, because you see now where the pests are, they've colonized the weed and the main plant is okay. That is chili. I think that is amaranth. I've given an update. So I hope this week we'll be able to finish transplanting the onions. Then I want to add some more maize and start some other seeds. So thank you so much, Foliflora 23.